Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys of Magic. This is Hunter, David, and Shane. Say what's up, boys.
What's going on?
What up, nerds?
Howdy, howdy. We are back in the Wild West. That is right. Still talking about spoilers from the newest set coming out. That is Outlaws of Thunder Junction. We got a new batch of spoilers today. Very excited. Still very stoked on this set. But before we get into the spoilers today, I just want to remind everybody we only talk about the rares and mythics. If you guys wanted to see all the commons and uncommons as well, go to our Instagram where you'll find that in the description. Check that out and see all the other cards that we don't talk about today. And if you like those cards, on the final day of spoiler season, we kind of discuss the most liked cards from our Instagram we did not talk about during each spoiler season. So go like those. And while you're liking stuff, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already, because we're putting out content all the time and you don't want to miss it. So let's go ahead and get this started. This first card is called Lilah, Undefeated Slickshot. It is 1, a blue and a red for a 3/3 legendary creature human rogue. It's got prowess. And it also says whenever you cast a multicolored instant or sorcery spell from your hand, exile that spell instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. If you do, it becomes plotted.
I like this card a lot. I like Spellslinger decks, and the fact that you can then potentially reuse those instants and sorceries is awesome. Plus, this thing has prowess, so it's going to get relatively large relatively quickly. Provides an additional outlet for you to beat your opponents to death.
Yeah, I think I'm just dumb. I didn't want to talk right away because I had to reread it because I didn't fully understand what the hell was happening. But I get it now.
Yeah, you get to cast spells twice. And
Yeah,
except
twice.
The second time is free.
Yeah, and it's plotted so you can stack them all in one turn if you want.
That is very true. You can just cast all of them and just make this enormous. It's pretty cool.
Good card, pretty good.
Good card, pretty good. I don't know if we can talk about this anymore. I think this is going to be seen in Standard. It's going to be kind of annoying as a Spellslinger deck. Haven't really seen those in Standard in a while, so this might take it over the top.
A legendary creature too, so we'll talk about it later.
We will indeed in our Commander Grades video. The next card is Smuggler's Surprise. It is 1 green mana with a plus sign because it's an instant that has Spree. You can add 2 generic mana, mill 4 cards. You may put up to 2 creature and or land cards from among the milled cards into your hand. You can also add 4 and a green. You may put up to 2 creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. And it has the last one where you can add just 1 generic mana. Creatures you control with power 4 or greater gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. This card's nuts.
What? Card's stupid.
Yeah. A lot of people already talking about paying just that 6 mana and just getting, oh, here's an Atraxa, here's a Titan of Industry. No big deal.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Oh, I know.
At instant speed.
At instant speed. So when they attack you, here's another situation I read. When you get attacked from your opponent, go ahead and pay that 6 and drop 2 Phyrexian Obliterators and then block.
Yikes.
Yeah. This card, it kind of reminds me of like a Collected Company, given that it's not like directly pulling cards from the top. But I mean, like you can mill those cards and then potentially reanimate them back to your hand and then drop them from your hand. So like it still has that ability to like reach into the deck. Plus, if you happen to have good stuff already in your hand, that's an additional upside. How relevant do we think this card is going to be, given that this is still pretty mana intensive?
I think it's going to be very relevant.
In Standard, I think it's going to be extremely relevant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious to see. Like, that just seems nuts, dude.
Yeah. There's a really dumb combo in Standard right now that if you just have 4 blue mana, you just win the game. That's with the reenact the crime. You like bring back something else, and then you can just it's crazy loop.
But this is a little more than 4 blue mana or whatever you said.
It is, yeah, but it's another way to cheat stuff out.
Got it.
I can see this being played.
I'm very curious. To me, this seems like a very strong card.
Surprise! Here's some creatures. Let's go ahead and move on to the next card. It's another round. It is XX2 and a white for a sorcery that says exile any number of creatures you control, then return those creatures to the battlefield under their owner's control. Repeat this process X times. We have a blink card.
Interesting.
It's super mana intensive multi-flicker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
I know this is translated, but like the art, I don't feel like correlates to the name very well.
We'll go another round.
Yeah, I guess. Being
But
a
you don't even need to
something.
pay the. Don't even need to pay the X. It's X out any number, so doesn't matter. It's just how many times you want to do it. You pay into the X.
Oh, got it. So if you just pay 3, you just do it
You just pay 3. You
one time?
can do it to all your creatures if you want. Pretty good.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
think this card is okay. The fact that it's a sorcery means that you have to be using this like proactively. You can't use this to protect your stuff.
That's true.
Also, there is like I know that you want to be able to like abuse it, but like this is so mana intensive.
If you want to pay the X cost,
Yeah,
yes. But I'm
that's
I'm
true.
just saying, like, imagine you swung in and then cast this for 3 and then blink all your creatures, and now they can be blockers. And if you have any ETBs on those creatures, then that's a bonus.
Yeah, I mean, like there are upsides here. It's just I don't know the fact that this is not an instant, and I think that this would probably be a little bit too powerful if it were. I think that that loses me a little bit. It's not very flexible.
That's fair. I think this card is still really good in my opinion. I like it. This next card is a familiar face. It's Kambal, Stern Mayor. It's 1, a white, and a black for a 2/4 legendary creature human advisor. It says whenever 1 or more tokens enter the battlefield under an opponent's control, create a tapped copy of each of them. This ability triggers only once each turn. It also has another ability. It says whenever 1 or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
I love this card.
Huh.
I was about to say this looks like a David card.
Oh my god, I love this so much. So like you penalize your opponents for them having their tokens come in. And it's not just like creature tokens either. If they make a treasure token, you get a treasure token.
Okay.
And then on top of that, the same thing for the bottom. However, that second ability doesn't say once per turn. So if I just make, I don't know, a token and then a token and then a token and then a token, oh my god, I'm draining life so quickly.
Yeah, but keep in mind, you do have to make them 1 at a time because it's whenever 1 or more enter. So
That is totally fine. I feel like this card is like there's got to be a way to easily abuse this thing. I love this card so much. I might build this. Oh, I'm excited.
there's a card for Dave. I like it. Yeah, I think I'm on board with you too. I think it's pretty cool. It's unfortunate that the ability only triggers once when
Yeah.
that first part happens because I think your opponents will look at that and say, "I'm gonna make this token before the other cool tokens."
Makes him think then.
To play devil's advocate though, how often are you running up against a deck that's like, oh, I'm gonna make 3 tokens this turn. Let me sequence this correctly so that I can get around Kambal. Or is
No,
it just like,
no idea.
hey, I made a token and I guess you did too?
I guess that's right. Yeah, fair.
Like, I cannot wait. All right. I don't want to talk too much about Commander, but like I cannot wait to play this in a game of Commander and then see somebody drop a Smothering Tide and I just sit there with the
Stupid.
massivest smile on my face.
Yeah. Granted, yours does come in tapped, so you don't get to use them right away.
Don't care.
Well, we will talk about this card as a potential commander. It seems Dave's already high on it, so that's just a little tease in our commander grades video. Let's move on to a new dragon. It is Stringerback Terror. It's 2 and 2 red for a 7/7 flying trampler. Scorpion Dragon. That's right. It says it gets -1/-1 for each card in your hand. It also has a plot of 2 and a red.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. Real cool.
Scorpion Dragon.
I like this one a lot too.
No shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's not hard to
Remember
have 0
7/7?
cards in red.
Yeah. It's-
You just plot it, and then you'll only cast this when you're like low or any cards in your hand. Like what? What a good payoff.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Turn 3, just plot this for later, and then just play all your damaged spells on people's faces, and then cast this, and it's a 7/7 for free.
What else is there to say about this dumb shit?
I don't know.
I do really also just like real quick side note here. I love the fact that this Western plane, we still have dragons, but they're scorpion dragons. There's a couple cards now that we've been able to see this. I love
Yeah.
this take that they've taken this creature type that has existed throughout like all of Magic, and they're spinning it in a way that where it fits so flavorfully for this set. Like I know that we're not going to get scorpion dragons again, but like that is such a huge disappointment because I love this design.
You never know, dude. Maybe we will.
Yeah, dude, we have the Omnipath, so things could go to different planes, you know?
This is just I'm thinking about one more thing too. Like in red, if you build up your first initial board and you waste all your resources, how like your opponent might not want to board wipe because then they'll be like, oh, I'll board wipe and then you'll have nothing and then you'll just have a 7/7. I don't know. It's just this card's nuts.
Definitely. I think we're all here for Stringerback. Let's move on. This next one is Railway Brawler. It's 3 and 2 green for a 5/5 creature Rhino Warrior. It's got reach, it's got trample, and it says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is its power. It's got a plot of 3 and a green. Also a very strong card, David.
I don't disagree. I don't think this one is necessarily for me.
No, it's because it's green.
It's just it's a big smashy thing, and I don't know. I just like you're the big smashy guy. You take this card.
At least it's
Okay, I
got
will.
no, it's got trample though, dude. So it's not
Got
too much of a
trample,
trample. Yeah,
And it's got reach. And
all the reaches like
you
that.
can have multiple. If we're talking if we are talking standard, I could put multiple of these into my deck, and then they just come in as 10/10s, and then bigger, and then bigger, and then everything else is giant.
Yeah, but how many 5-drops do you actually want in a standard deck?
Probably like 2, maybe 3.
See,
This is the thing, though. They're trying to fix mono green by putting in these insane cards. We saw what was the other card you guys previewed? 4 mana for a 6/5. They're
Yeah.
trying.
The one with
I love that.
Flash.
Yeah, I love that you say this, that they're trying to fix mono green. I haven't played standard in a minute. I will admit that. However, the last time I played standard, green was a problem.
It is not even
Very
in
neutered right now.
existence. Doesn't exist in the current meta.
Good. Let's keep it that way.
Good. That's not a healthy meta. Come on.
Yeah. Mono red is king right now. Then you got mono white, and then mono black, mono blue, mono green at the very, 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 very bottom.
Who says we need monocolored decks?
Wizards, look at this card. I'm here for it. I love Railway Brawler.
Pretty good.
Let's talk about another familiar face. It's Geralf, the Fleshwright. It's 2 and a blue for a 2/3 legendary creature human warlock. It says whenever you cast a spell during your turn other than the first spell that turn, create a 2/2 blue and black zombie rogue creature token. Also has another ability which says whenever a zombie enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each other zombie that entered the battlefield under your control this turn. Sounds good too. We got zombies in this plane.
We're getting a lot of like blue zombie support, I feel like, here recently, which is cool. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily the color I want to be playing
Gonna be
if I'm playing zombies, though.
Yeah, but like Wilhelt is Demir, so
Well, Wilhelt's also not in standard. We'll talk about this card more. Well, I guess never mind. That would be in a support archetype. But like, I'm not saying that this card doesn't have a place or a home. It most certainly does.
Yeah.
I think
I'm just thinking like the card just like on its own, and also like from a standard perspective or more of like a limited perspective, I don't know. I do like how this card isn't the flavor that they've been giving out a lot here lately of like whenever you cast your second spell each turn, because this actually doesn't care about the second. It cares about the second and third and fourth and fifth, and if you can continue to storm off past that point.
I was going to mention that, though, even though it doesn't refer to that, it still would go good in that new precon coming out that does care about second spells. Even if it doesn't have any other zombies in it, just the fact that this one is producing your zombies to make everything else get 1/1s, it's pretty good.
Very true.
yeah, that makes a good point. Well, once again, David, you alluded to the commander grades for this legendary mono blue creature. We'll talk about him more then.
I gotta stop doing that.
We have a lot of legendaries, but this one, next one, is not. It is Hellspur Posse Boss. That's 2 and 2 red for a 2/4 creature lizard rogue. It says other outlaws you control have haste. And it also says when Hellspur Posse Boss enters the battlefield, create 2/1/1 red mercenary creature tokens with tap. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery.
Pretty cool.
This
They have
one-
haste.
Yeah, but I feel like there's easier ways to make things get haste, and to restrict it just to outlaws is, I get it's on theme for the set. So I don't know if I'm sold on this card.
Yeah.
I mean, having it produces additional creatures, and those additional creatures then can buff your other cards. I do like this card. I don't think that this is probably going to see play in standard. I think coming in at 4 mana, this is probably a little bit too slow. But I don't know. I like this in like a limited environment if you're trying to put together your outlaw deck.
Yeah, I would say that too. If I'm opening up in the pre-release or limited, like you said, other limited formats, I think I'm gonna go Outlaws if I open this card.
I mean, and also, I know it is 4 mana, but dude, you can tap them the turn they come down. So like turn 4, give something +1/+0. You're gonna swing in for a lot.
Those are sick.
No, they have haste.
Oh, they have haste. You're
Yeah,
right.
that's what I'm
Sorry.
saying.
Sorry, you're right. Yeah, but it's good card. What is going on with the guy in the back there?
He's
It's
just happy to be there, dude.
stealing something? I don't know.
He's got like a, was that like a flame face?
It's like another. Oh, flame. I was looking at the guy that had some in his hand. Their Halo
was like-
sword.
I think that's their equivalent of like guns in this set because they don't really want to do guns. It's like maybe like a fireball shooter.
A plasma gun, dude.
Yeah.
It is very much plasma. We will get to a card later that's shooting like a plasma sniper rifle.
Huh.
Moving on to Assimilation Aegis. It's 1, a white and a blue for an artifact equipment. It says when it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target creature until it leaves the battlefield. And then whenever Assimilation Aegis becomes attached to a creature for as long as it remains attached to it, that creature becomes a copy of a creature card exiled with Assimilation Aegis. It's got an equip cost of 2. I like the card design.
I don't.
Oh, why not?
I feel like there's like we've seen these kind of like banisher priest style of effects before. Given that this one is on an artifact, so it's a little bit more difficult to kill. But at the same time, it's like you could eventually have this do absolutely nothing. And I feel like if you do manage to like clone one of your opponent's things, and then maybe you swing in, like a removal spell hits extra hard here. Like if
Yeah,
somebody can like blow up the artifact, not only are they going to kill that, but they're probably also going to then take out your creature. And this is 5 mana in total for you to be able to get its effect and equip.
I mean, if they blow up this, then they're not going to kill your creature.
Well, your creature would then revert back to like whatever it was, in which case I'm assuming it's probably not as good as what you made it.
Probably just a little 1/1 mercenary.
Yeah.
No, but I like the card design here. I think because you hate this card, you're probably going to open it as a rare in your pre-release.
No, it's going to be the other one we talked about yesterday.
No, but this will be one of them.
It could be one of them. I do like this card
Probably.
though too.
Yeah.
Yeah, good equipment.
I don't know. I think
It's
when it
equipment
enters,
removal, dude.
it is. Exiling your opponent's best thing and then turning into it just to beat him with it.
Nah, it's
Sounds
not
cool.
bad.
Let's go ahead and move on to Pillage the Bog. It is a black and a green for a sorcery that says, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is twice the number of lands you control. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. It also has a plot of 1, a black to green. Seems powerful.
Yeah, probably later in the game.
We get a cool kind of what we usually see in like a blue effect in Golgari.
That's true.
What do you think, Dave?
I don't know how much I care for this.
No? Looking at the top, if you play this on turn 2, look at
Top
the top 4 and grabbing one.
I mean, like, it is a good effect. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking too much into this. I'm over here and like my brain goes to Golgari. So like, what can I do with graveyard shenanigans?
That's what I was gonna say too.
And it's putting it on the bottom of the library
Yeah.
and also in a random order. So like, it's killing my like version of my brain of like what I want to actually do with this kind of card. I would love it if it put it in the graveyard instead. I understand that would be really powerful. It's not a bad card. Like it replaces itself with whatever the best thing is that you just happen to look at.
Exactly. And that's why I think it's really unique in terms of it's not blue, because we see right now Memory Deluge is, I know that puts 2 cards in your hand, but that effect is powerful enough where someone's running Golgari, might as well run this.
That card you get to do twice. It's dumb. I get their
You do
comparison,
twice.
but
Yeah.
All right. I've had more time to think about this card and I've digested this a little bit more.
still hate it.
This card is actually super powerful.
Yeah.
I love when you pivot
is.
180.
Yeah, I am. Well, it's not even that I'm pivoting 180. It's just that like I've tried to reevaluate this thing through a different scope. This to me now that I'm like reevaluating this, especially with the plot, it's like this almost is like a tutor effect because you could be able to dig so far into your library.
You wait, yeah.
And especially if you do plot it, like, well, if you don't plot it, you're still digging. But I mean, if you do plot it, you're digging, and then you're also getting the thing essentially for kind of like for free. So then you have your mana up to just like cast the big thing that you just want to go find, or your combo piece, or whatever you're just gonna like end the game with.
That's true too.
Oh yeah. It's
Well, that's a
wild.
pretty good mechanic, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
I like this card a lot.
There we go.
That was
Let's see if you like.
love it. That's quick.
Let's see if you like this. The next one, it is Boros. This is Taii Wakeen, Perfect Shot. It is a red and a white for a 2/3 legendary creature human mercenary. It's whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to a creature equal to that creature's toughness, draw a card. It also has another ability. You could pay X, tap it. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to a permanent or player this turn, it deals that much damage plus X instead.
But
Who cares about the first ability? It's all about that second ability. You can just destroy someone.
You don't like card draw?
I was gonna say, so it basically just says if it kills the creature, draw a card.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But that second ability where you can, if you just throw a lot of mana into it and then tap something to ping somebody and then just like, oh, here's even more. Yeah, I think you start draining people pretty quickly.
I think both could be relevant. Both abilities, I mean.
This is probably going to be a combo piece and standard.
I hate Boros.
I mean,
I don't.
it's like a damage accelerant, not even really like a damage doubler, because you do have to also sink mana into this. I don't actually know if I like this card. Like, it gives your like burn spells a little bit more reach, or your pingers a little bit more reach.
And
I don't know.
I am a big fan of it.
I think it's too restrictive for me. Like, I know that you really care about that second part of the card. I actually like the first part of the card a little bit more. And at that point, it's like my brain is trying to wrap around, like, if I'm using all of my burn spells to kill my opponent's creatures, that's fine if I'm drawing more cards, in which I might be assuming that the toughness level matches up.
Yeah.
And then, like, it is kind of like a pseudo finisher for the second ability there, but the more mana that I sink into that, the less mana I actually have for, like, my spells. So maybe I want
Unless
to
you're
pick
plotting
around.
everything, dude.
Yeah,
bunch
I
of
guess
plots.
but how many plot
I don't know.
direct damage burn spells are we gonna get that are
I have
actually
no
gonna be
idea.
playable?
Unsure.
I don't know. I'm a fan of this card. Obviously, Boros.
Obviously.
But this is the card I was talking about with the kind of energy sniper rifle.
Good at Halo again, dude.
Perfect shot. Are they on top of a dragon or something? I can't tell.
Or a
I
mountain.
think that's
I don't
dirt.
know.
There's like
Yeah.
grass.
Dirt. I thought they were like flying through the air.
Nah, I think it's like supposed to be on like a cliff.
Yeah, cliff.
Well, let's move on to the final card we are talking about today. It is Ghired, Mirror of the Wilds. It's a red, a green, and a white for a 3/3 legendary creature human shaman. It's got haste, and it says non-token creatures you control have tap. Create a token that's a copy of target token you control that enter the battlefield this turn.
Pretty good.
It's out of
So,
control
okay.
really quickly.
Yeah, I was pretty good.
It's not bad. I don't
not
know
bad.
if I like it.
Just tapping him gives you 2 of whatever you're playing.
Tapping
Yeah.
him doesn't.
Oh,
Oh, no. You're
what?
right. You're
It
right.
does
You're
it
right.
to
Non-token
itself,
creatures.
yeah.
I read it originally as token creatures, so never mind. I'm actually liking this card a lot less now than what I was originally. I was like, if I make a bunch of tokens and I can tap them, it's like I'm playing Cranko tokens. Never mind. I misread him.
Well, it's just saying that all the creatures you're playing have haste, and you can just tap them and make a copy of them.
Sure.
That's not
All
bad.
my creatures have haste? Where does that say on this card?
I don't know. I just made that up. But I'm guessing
I
you'd
love
play
it.
haste creatures. How about that? That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Well, you're in the
Angers
colors to be hasty.
and Naya, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah. Once again, we will talk about this as a potential commander in our commander's grade video. As far as standard goes, I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think
know.
so.
I mean, you still got Ginny Faye and the ones that make cats and dogs still in standard
What?
from New Capenna. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
Standard never rotates anymore.
That's insane. I didn't even, dude. That's insane. That's a long time ago.
Yep. Almost 3 years now. This is the new standard. Yeah, that's going to do it, though. Before we wrap things up, we will start with David. David, what was your favorite card we talked about today?
I managed to talk myself so much into this. I'm going to go with Pillage the Bog.
He reevaluated and found it. Pretty good. How about you, Shane? What was your favorite card today?
I honestly don't know if I have a favorite card. I'll just pick. I'll pick that Stringerback Terror. Seems dumb.
Stringerback Terror. I'm also going with another dumb card. That is Smuggler Surprise.
Mhm.
That is my favorite card. But comment down below, what was your guys' favorite card that we talked about today? Always interested to hear what you guys have to say about all these cards. Hit that like button if you haven't done so. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that either. What are you waiting for? We're just giving you content all the time. Might as well stay subscribed. In the description, you will find links to all of our social media accounts. That is TikTok, that is Twitter, and that is Instagram. At Guys That Match for each one, especially that Instagram one. I mentioned it in the beginning, but go over there, check out all the uncommons and commons. Like the ones you like, and then on the final day, if it's liked enough, we'll talk about it. On the screen right now, those are all of our Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your added support. It means the world to us. If you wanted to see what they are seeing, which is not here on YouTube, check the description as well and consider subscribing to our Patreon account. And until the next video, hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Later, dude.
Yeehaw,
Good day.
nerds!